Richard Milos Forman, really one of the great directors of our time, though he's not made that many films, which is really interesting.
No, he's like really slowing down as, as he ages and stuff.
He starts off, actually his parents were taken away and killed in World War II.
That's right.
He was raised by relatives and went through the years, to really shorten this, into the Czech film school and was part of the Czech Renaissance in the 60s.
Yes, during the Soviet occupation.
Yeah, and made some wonderful films. Black Peter, the story, actually very autobiographical story, and the one that I saw very early on called Fireman's Ball, which is an absolute hilarious takeoff on small-mindedness in small towns and bureaucracies.
Yeah, it's an uproarious film, that's for sure.
He comes over to the United States. Actually, he is negotiating to make an American film at Cannes in 1968 when the Soviets come in with the tanks.
And into the Prague Spring.
And in Prague Spring.
Rather,
and he goes back, ties up some things real quick, gets out of the country, comes to the United States, and we know his films here really by the films he makes in the United States. He does Taking Off, and then what I love is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, bought by Kirk Douglas from the author, because Kirk wanted to play McMurphy on Broadway. It was a bomb of a play. He gave it as a gift to his son, Michael Douglas, who at that time was making Streets of San Francisco.
Right.
Michael looked for a director, and he found Forman, and the rest is history.
Right, exactly. Now more recent.
For both Forman and Douglas, who went on to do China Syndrome, and then start to act
became a great
himself in
producer,
films,
director,
and
so
became a
forth.
great producer, actor.
Now, one of his more recent films is one that I love a lot, The People versus Larry Flint. A slightly idealistic look at a hustler and a conniver, but at the same time, really making a very plausible argument for the benefits this horrible pornographer did for society, by being a lightning rod against the most conservative and hypocritical, members of society. So it comes back to it's very much a Czech film, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yes,
that one.
Thank you for saying that, because the sensibility in all of these American films that he's made, even Man in the Moon, the last one with
Jim Carrey, yes.
Jim Carrey, and Valmont, which was his Les Liaisons Dangereuses.
And a lot more judgmental. I think a lot more of a Catholic look at that story than Stephen Frears' version. Yeah.
Right. This is a European sensibility.
Yeah.
And we really have the exile looking at America and looking at the world with a colder and colder eye. And I think this is really our introduction to the film that he's made this time.
Very much so, yeah.
Which is
very frosty, yeah.